Hi, Professor D here, founder of Black Belt Breakthroughs and author of Secrets of the Black Belt Mindset. One of the biggest concerns many of my clients come to me with is because they feel stuck in their lives. In fact, they felt so stuck that they haven't been able to move forward in their personal, professional life for weeks, months, sometimes even years at a time. They're in a very disempowered state. Now, a very extreme example of this was a client I'll call John, who I saw about 6 months ago. John and I made an appointment. John comes and we start to talk, and I said, "John, what's going on?" And he says, "My life sucks." I said, "All right, John, tell me about that." So John told me about how he had failed to get promotions at work, how he had failed in relationships, how he had failed at almost everything in his life. So to break a state, I said, "John, is there anything good in your life?" And John said, "No, everything sucks." I said, "Well, so you're not working?" He said, "No, I told you I was working." I said, "Well, isn't having a job a good thing?" He said, "No, I don't like my job." Let me ask you a question. Where was John's focus? John's focus was on the problem. Now, I have to admit, there have been times in my life where I felt just like John, where my problems seemed to be overwhelming. But what I found was the reason that I was having difficulty moving forward in my life is because my focus was on the problem. Now, if this has ever happened to you, I want to give you a quick and easy way to move from this very disempowered state to a very empowered one. First, think of a problem you've been struggling with. Now, what I want you to do is redefine this problem as a puzzle. And here's why. Nobody likes to deal with a problem. That's because a problem is, well, a problem. Just listen to what a definition of a problem is. It's a matter or situation regarded to as unwelcome or harmful and needing to be dealt with or overcome. Does that look like something that you want to work with? Does that sound like something you want to deal with? How does that make you feel? Right now, your brain is resisting having to work with this unwanted thing. In fact, if that problem is big enough, your brain will actually say to heck with this and make you feel so bad that you won't even think about it. Now, redefine this as a puzzle, which is defined as a game or a toy designed to test your experience or knowledge. Now, does that kind of look like something fun? Does that sound like something interesting? Does that remind you of when you were a kid and you were playing puzzles and games? Of course it does. Now, instead of resisting, your brain's going to embrace this enchanting little thing you've redefined as a puzzle. With your brain's resistance out of the way, you can get your source, your psychology, and your state all on the same page, which is a real-world use of convergence. Now, John and I went through this exercise, and right at the end, John says, "I got it," and he wrote down a couple of things in his notebook, and he left. We had an appointment for the next week, and he comes in, and when John comes in, he's a different person. He's smiling. I said, "John, what's going on?" He said, "Yesterday, my boss comes in and she says she has a problem." Now, in the past, I would have never volunteered to do anything with it, but I said to myself, I'm going to try this. So I took it on, I redefined the problem as a puzzle, and I focused on working on the solution. Within just a few hours, I had figured out the solution. I brought it to my boss, and she looked at me and she said, "John, I knew you could do this." And she gave me a raise. John was ecstatic. And so will you be once you learn how to redefine problems as puzzles and learn how to focus on solutions. Now, here's my purpose. This is why I believe I'm here, to help people just like you learn how to use convergence, getting your source, your psychology, and your state, what you've got, so intensely focused on what you want that you can break out and better your best over and over and over again. While I do have a new book coming out on convergence, you can pick up my book, Secrets of the Black Belt Mindset, and that technique is in this book. You can also go to my website, blackbeltbreakthroughs.com, or you can contact me about getting the kind of coaching you need for black belt success. Until the next time, this is Professor D wishing you only success.